So today we are going to talk about and discussing about from here what is a subscription. Okay, until here we have discussed introduction of Microsoft Azure. We have discussed. Okay, and we going to discuss what is a subscription. So subscription in a sense is just a logical entity. Like if you can compare with how we can explain more about what is a Azure subscription. Suppose you people maybe could have know about organization unit, right? Like OU, you remember? In AD you have the organization unit, right? OUs.
Yes,
Yeah,
yes.
yeah,
Yeah, same like that here also. Like I'm just comparing to make you understand. The subscription is just logical entity. So you're just calling as a name as a subscription, but this is just a name, okay? And what are the resource groups which you are going to create? Like a it's a logical entity means it's been like a one kind of bucket or some one kind of folder, okay? So it's keeping
okay,
all the resource group and resources inside that subscription. So you can assume that this is one of the like a folder or bucket or whatever you can make. It's been like a one container, okay? You can technically logical entity we can call it as, and you can to know to just hope to understand that it's been you can assume that one kind of container or folder. So you can keep all what are the like resource group services, everything in come into the in subscription. Suppose now what are the services we discussed yesterday, right? The core services, another IaaS infrastructure as a service and platform as a services. These deploy models we have discussed about the core services, right? These all services will come under the subscription. I mean to say, without subscription, you can't get the services. So that all services inside this subscription only. Means what is a subscription? Subscription is a logical entity. Um, it contains the resources, okay, and without subscription you can't able to get the any resources in the Azure account. So subscription have the services. Without subscription you can't get any Azure services. Okay, that is a subscription actually. So
Okay.
So just this is subscription means normally I will explain you below. So what is the resource and what is a resource group, what is a subscription and what is a tenant. So there you can get more idea. But here just you what is a subscription? Azure subscription means you just remember this is a one just logical entity when you refer to the name as a subscription, and you can imagine that this is like a one kind of folder or container. So you're getting the service all Azure services inside the subscription, and and you're keeping all the resources and resource group inside that subscription. It's get maintaining that, okay? This subscription and it's been advantage and multiple advantages when you are having the subscription. Actually we are going to discuss about that, and that one of the part here highlighted for the billing. Subscription is a billing container for deploying Microsoft Azure services. When you have a multiple subscriptions, it's easy to manage your billing also. So this is the one of the advantage when you have a multiple subscriptions, okay? And there is a limitations of for each subscription should have only one service administrator of each subscription, and there is a limitation of each subscription should have a 200 co-administration administrator of um, part of that each subscription. This is a okay. So this is what is a Azure subscription, okay? So let me go and explain you in the diagram how the hierarchy will come and what is a subscription. Someone you can mute yourself. Whenever you want to speak, you can unmute. Okay. Here you can see, right? Here, this is the subscription. Okay. Or these are the subscriptions. Here we have a dev subscription and production subscription. So subscription, you can name it with a different names, how you want to display your subscription in your account. So this is my account. Okay. So how you are creating a Gmail account or any account, right? Same like that, here also you have to register with your organization. You have to register with account with the Microsoft. That is the account as a Azure account. Okay. In that Azure account, you can create a multiple um, subscriptions. Before that subscription, you can create a number of accounts also. So in this Azure account, this is a root account, you can call it as a root account. Okay. In this root account, you can create a multiple like a accounts. In that accounts, each account you can create like this multiple subscriptions. So we'll discuss now here only what is a subscription and how that subscription hierarchy will be there. Okay. So now this is account. You leave it the accounts as well currently. So this is my Microsoft account, and here we have a number of subscriptions. Currently in the diagram, you can see there is a dev subscription and production subscription and test subscription. And under this, you can see these are the abc.xyz and sqldb. These are the resource groups, and these are the resources. You can see the VMs, right? VM1 and VM1 in this separate one resource group, and this is another resource group which have the another VM. So you just leave it now. Currently, what is the resource group, will explain you more in the below. Now currently we have a 3 subscriptions here. Okay. I have mentioned here subscription is billing container for deploying Azure resources. Okay. So here, when if you have a 10 virtual machines or 10 SQL databases, whatever it could be, when you have a very small count of resources, it's easy to manage the billing. So suppose we have, I showed you, right, when demo class, we have a hundreds of servers and hundreds of storage accounts and hundreds of databases. So it's difficult to manage. And so irrespective of the environments, either we can't club in both the environments like development, production, because of you're segregating to manage that. How the managing comes not only for the building. Now once you segregated here, so easy to these many resources, how much cost it's occurred for these resources, easily you can figure it out. Same like that production also, production environment, how much the cost it was used for these resources, you can figure it out. This is the one. Suppose now um, if the production environment, the managing team like application team or other supporting team, so they are managing their resources like either VM or storage account or database, whatever it could be. So if they requested anyone, they requested for the access. Okay. If you have a single subscription, all your prod and like a development subscription are keep, you can assume that it's been in single subscription, all the resources, you don't have multiple, these two resource subscriptions you don't have. Currently you have only one subscription as a production. Okay. In this subscription, you have production servers and test servers and production servers, all the servers you have in the same under subscription. It's difficult to manage. What kind of managing comes, providing access and like managing with the policies. So and like managing with the cost. So these are the three important roles which fall into segregation of the subscriptions. One is the management of the resources. Okay. And the one is to managing the access and the policies, and one is billing part. And these are the three criteria based we are segregating the subscriptions. So once we have a different kind of subscriptions, if development, if you want, anyone want access for the development environment, you can able to give directly what the specific development subscription, so that user doesn't have access to the production subscription. That user only can able to access the dev subscription resources. If anyone user requested production, so you can already we have splitted the environments, right? The production and dev and test. So requested subscription, you can provide the access, either what level of access, so either read only or contributor or owner access, what access they need, so based upon that you are providing it.
A small dot.
Yeah.
So here, actually, we are already segregating according to our requirement in resource group, right? So one type of services in one resource group, another type of service in another resource group, right? So for one resource group, there are only one subscription or multiple subscription.
I will explain you in the below actually. Yeah, it in one subscription you can create a number of resource groups. It's not like any specific one or two. You can create number of resource groups.
Okay.
Under that you can create a number of resources.
Okay, so another dot is we'll manage some VMs in one subscription. We want to give access for one user to one VM. We have to give subscription access or VM, how it is. It all right. If you give access to subscription, we'll access all services under this subscription.
Yeah. So you have to give a read-only access for the subscription, and you have to if you give the read-only access, if you not given access here, if you give this access, suppose now your request is user ask is to I want like this VM access. Okay.
Okay.
That is your question, right?
Yeah, correct.
So user requested I need access Azure portal access for this VM. This is
correct,
not the RDP access. You are
Hmm.
looking for the Azure portal. I want to manage myself this VM. So provide me access from Azure portal. This VM access. Okay. So that time now we have a three level of hierarchy. One is VM level, one is resource group level, one is subscription level. Okay, so this is the hierarchy. So if you until you provide the read-only access here, you can't visible any resource. Even though if you provide access here,
okay,
the user can't view the resources.
Okay.
So first you have to provide the read-only access to the subscription. Once you provide the read-only access for the subscription, so you will get read-only access, will get inherited for the all the resources which are under the subscription.
Okay.
Okay, then you can go that, and if you want to provide access to him which you want to manage the specific VM, you can go and you can provide that modify access. You can call it as a here contributor access, that call as a like you can like modify, delete, do all the kind of data activities. You can provide that specific VM. Suppose you don't want the request is not for the specific VM, and this is a project called abc.com. Okay, this is one of the application using. So that application team want access for entire all the VMs, all the resources for belongs to that that project. So that time instead of going and providing the individual VM, you can provide the access to the resource group.
Okay.
Okay, but here read-only access is required because of I told you this subscription. What is a subscription when we are discussing? I told you the subscription is having the services. If the services doesn't have at least minimum level read-only access, you can't see services only to provide access here.
Okay.
If you can provide access to the VM or resource group, services only, it won't display to him to see this.
Yeah. Okay, got it.
So if you want to access to be provide any resources, you should have the read-only access to the subscription. Then what other access do you want? You can provide that. Okay.
So if you provide read-only access for subscription, he will be able to do resource groups. Under the resource, what are services he will be able to see, right?
Yeah, he can able to see, but he can't do anything.
Okay. Okay, got it.
So that's why we are like contributor access. If you are manager, okay, so you want to just it is not belongs to any specific VM. Okay. So there is, we have created a few dashboards in the Azure portal. So where you can see like how many issues is the health issues or any for high utilization issues or backup failure issues, like that you have created a separate dashboard for each service. So your manager want to, or up, like we have different kind of hierarchy in the management, right? Maybe ops manager or whoever it could be, incident management, they want to just have a look for once a while a day. So if you can provide access, read only access for him, he can just see that, that's it. You don't want to perform any like BAU operations because of his non-technical. So
Okay.
that kind of resources we can provide a read only access for entire all the subscriptions, so you can just view that. So but we are not providing the contributor or owner access for those kind of users.
Okay. Okay. Okay, bro. Okay. Thank you.
Okay, so that, so for here only we are discussing about what is a subscription. What is mean by subscription? Subscription is a just logical entity. So it's contain the resources. The resource in the sense you can see, right? These are the resources and services. So this contain the resource in the sense these resources all under the subscription only. Okay, so
Okay.
and this resources where it come? This comes from the services, Azure services. When you're creating a VM in the Azure, that services who is providing? Subscription is providing that service. So subscription is providing the services, and it is a container. It will hold all the resource group and resources, and subscription is used for the billing purpose and use it to manage the resources. Resources like access part and providing the tags. I will tell you that how that the tagging and policies, these things comes under the management. Okay,
Okay.
and the billing part. These are the three criteria based we are segregating the subscriptions. Okay,
Okay.
and main, if you interview, if you ask what is a subscription, you have to tell subscription is a logical container. It will provide the services, and we can have multiple services and resource groups have in that subscription, and we can manage the all the resources on subscription and which are there in the specific subscription.
Okay.
And the advantage is using the subscription we can easily to manage, like providing accesses and apply the some kind of security or controlling policies, and easy to billing also. So these things you can answer for that question.
Okay.
And sometime it will come what is a difference between tenant and subscription also. Will once you know that what is a tenant, then I will tell you that. Okay, so this is what is subscription. Okay, now we have what are the different types of subscriptions. We have four subscriptions here. One is like this is free trial, just what we are using test account, right? That comes as a free trial account, and using that comes as a default subscription name. By default it will come, and there is a MSDN. This will call as a Visual Studio. This used for the post and pre-licensing kind of Visual Studio software licenses will use for this subscription. And this is for like how we have a Linux open source kind of developing, and we have, right, a Linux operating system is open source, right? Like that, when you want to development and implementation, this is an open source subscription account actually. Okay, and this is a pay as you go. So this is a very popular subscription. So how much you are using, so how much you are using, how many resources you are using, you are going to pay that kind of model subscription. Okay, and this is enterprise agreement subscription, and this have, while buying the subscription, you have that agreement with Microsoft vendor. So once you agreement, it's been a 3 years or 4 years or 1 year, based upon that, in that enterprise agreement, if you do that, you'll get the discounts. Like if you like you do the enterprise agreement, so it will give 30% or 40% discount for all the resources, the billing part. So it will come that kind of it will use for the enterprise agreement. It is mostly for like a predefined. This means yes, I'm going to use your account, so you'll have a high level of support for this enterprise subscriptions. We have other benefits for this enterprise subscriptions. So these are the
Okay.
basically we have different types of subscriptions.
So actually, in our real-time environment, we are working right for supporting clients. So their clients, most probably they'll prefer which type of subscription.
They'll move 99.9%. It will be a pay as you go, and
Okay.
maybe the cases is a 10% or 1%, it will be enterprise.
Okay.
It's a large scale organization, they will use for the enterprise agreements subscription,
Most
because
probably they'll use pay as you go.
yeah, pay as you go. Normally they will, any organization they will use for the pay as you go. And these are the different methods they
Yeah.
are doing for like R&Ds and test labs.
Mm.
And this is some licensing import kind of stuff, this is different. But the business and the what we are normally used to support kind of customers, right? You can see only this pay as you go on enterprise agreement subscriptions only.
Okay. Okay.
Okay, I've just brief about the so what is the enterprise and the MSDN and pay as you go, the definition model. Okay, you can go through that, and just reading is not important, so that's why I explain here one online.
Okay.
So here let me discuss what is a tenant here and what is a subscription. So this question 100%
Hello,
will
one second, bro.
yeah.
Bro, you are explaining every scenario, right? You can explain another example, bro, on that.
Which one?
You are explaining every scenarios, right? Every topic.
Yeah.
You can explain also with one example on that. So Chandra is understanding
Okay.
on that time.
Okay. Yeah, I will explain you this all in here below. So I'm going through that. I will explain you one more time here.
Okay.
Okay, so this so the subscriptions, maybe they will ask you in interview. So what kind of subscriptions you have? What kind of environment do you have? So how large your environment is there? So how many subscriptions you are managing it? So this kind of questions they will ask you normally. Okay, so I have managing 10 subscriptions in my account, so which the project I'm supporting. Okay, so these subscriptions, I told you, right, the subscription is just containing the services and resources, that's it. So why this, the you, as I said, right, subscription I mentioned here, it's managing and billing, and this service subscriptions will provide services, right? So here also they're providing the services, all the subscription they're providing the services, but the providing the services, here, after providing how much you are using, the method of payable is different. Here enterprise agreement, in the sense, you are paying in the, like, as an agreement. So you are just registering, or you are paying before of 3 years or 2 years. So for that you are going to get additional benefit, they are going to discount, because of you are not using and pay, right? You are already I know that I am going to use 3 years, so I'm paying advance. So there, that way you are going to get in 30% or 20% advance discount benefit. And if you have a enterprise agreement, the support, it will be very right, enterprise agreement support of customers will be a high level of support actually. So
Okay.
that kind of benefits will get here. So if you raise a P1 within 10 minutes, you will get a call with the vendor.
But cost also high.
Yeah, cost also, no, it's a cost also high, in the sense here the cost also same actually.
Okay.
But the duration, like it's a 1 year or 3 years, before you are paying and you are getting the discount of it. So you are being high valuable customer. So for that kind of, they will give you that support, enterprise agreement. So how you are choosing the subscription, you will get that support.
Okay. And
Okay.
if in case of pay as you go, we'll pay as per our requirement. So they'll pay monthly or weekly or yearly.
This based upon their monthly, they have to pay.
Okay. Okay.
Monthly billing. So you can keep that yearly billing, that so when you are purchasing the account, right? So now you are purchasing the product. Okay, you can pay in cash and delivery, or installment, or online payment, like the methods you are choosing the subscription. But you can pay monthly or yearly also, but normally the pay as you go will go for the monthly.
Okay. Okay.
Okay, because of the payable things and all, we won't the BA teams, it won't take care. But normally the amount, that cost analysis, if someone asked, we can able to find each resource, how much cost it was consumed for subscription level or resource group level or resource level. Okay,
Okay.
we'll discuss that later, how we can analyze the cost analyzer to find which resource group consumed how much cost and how to identify. So what is a tenant? So tenant is a one root account. So when you are creating an account with the Microsoft, that they'll give you the, you have to register with your organization details while creating a root account. So that account is a tenant, that you will call it as a tenant. Okay, tenant. That is a tenant. In after the tenant, let me go to better explain. So because of normally it won't visible for in your any organization that's managing by different team, actually that you can't see that in our any Azure account. I will explain you here. Better I will write repeat. So I am just giving this actually. So now this is the tenant or root account, you can tell. Okay, whenever interview if you ask the what is the tenant, so tenant is a root account. Okay, so once you create an account with the Microsoft, this is the account we can get and so after that here we can create a number of accounts inside the tenant. Okay, so here we can, you now you created whatever the account you are creating, right, that comes as a name of your. So how once you create a active directory, suppose if you as a Microsoft, you are working as a Microsoft. Okay, in that Microsoft your ID, email ID, how it comes like suman.microsoft.com, right? So that microsoft.com is the organization name, right? So same like that, whenever you create a account with the Microsoft, that is called a root account. Okay, after that you can create a here account name like so microsoft.com. So before that microsoft.com, so you are defining the your organization name. This is the FQDN name, okay, domain name. So you are defining the organization name. So now here I am given here microsoft.com. So this is my account here in this tenant. This is a root account. In this I have a one account. In that account I have a subscription A, subscription B, subscription C and subscription D. So same like that you can create another account also here. You can create another, I'm just a space concern I'm showing here. So you can create one more account here and you can call it as a different one like a Google. So So this is one more account. In this account, you can have multiple subscriptions again. So you can have multiple subscriptions here. So it's been interconnected for this. Okay, so
Under root account having multiple domain accounts, right?
you can't call it as a domain accounts. Actually, the terminology over here, you have
You
a
can
account,
call it.
but interview and the discussion, these things and all, it won't come in the picture. No one will ask this because of interview also doesn't know about these concepts. Okay, so normally interview they will ask what is a tenant. Tenant is a root account, right? We know that. Tenant and subscription, these things only they will ask. They won't ask about the this one. But
Okay.
normally once have a root account, if you have, okay, now your account, maybe you are working in one Unisys, right? Unisys have a number of customers. Okay, the customers they have requested you Unisys only. You anyhow you only manage the Azure cloud. You only pay and everything. You only do it, and we'll pay for that. In the sense, we are creating like that. We are creating one more account instead of Google. I am creating Unisys here. There, what are the servers they need it? I am building here. Okay. Previously, they are using on-prem, so I will migrate all the servers here. Okay, now all on-prem servers I have migrated in the Azure cloud, and new servers which are coming to the new build I am building in these subscriptions. Okay, so I am only maintaining entire Unisys subscriptions and the account also. Everything I am only managing here. So that way supports also kind of like customers also is there. So if you have another customer, okay, so this is the root account. The tenant is the your Unisys, and here is a Microsoft and Google is your customers. So for customers also, you are providing the, you are taking the account. In this your account, you are managing their resources in the cloud. So this kind of scenarios, it will use this kind of thing, like under the tenant you can create a number of accounts. Okay, in these accounts you can define the name details, like what the name Microsoft.com in the sense. So that user accounts, it will come in the same. Suppose now new user created in this account. Okay, suppose Suman. So then online Microsoft.com will come. It will come your account. If you provide if you create account for you in this account, so this is a Microsoft.com, right? So this is one account. Under the root account, this is the one account, and this is the another account in the root. Okay, if you any user is created inside this root account, the username online Microsoft.com, because of this is the your account name. So account name will comes here. Okay, so that way you can like if using this account, you can able to log in and you can able to manage your all resources. That way
Okay.
So tenant ID will be unique, only one.
Sorry,
Tenant ID will be the only one ID. I mean, for the one account only.
yeah, root account it will be in a one. If
Okay.
you want, you can able to split to multiple based upon your how your organization. Otherwise, so I don't want to maintain this. So this is my customer. I'm not, Unisys is not managing multiple customer using their own cloud, like as in the cloud environment. If they give the cloud, they give the infrastructure, we are just going to support model. That is a different model. So now I don't have this kind of setup. Okay, this is one of the customer. They have the own tenant and they have the own account and they have own subscriptions. Okay, they are giving the access to Unisys and we are managing it.
Okay.
So this is one model, and another model is if you want to manage this kind of model, you can create a number of accounts under the tenant. If you give the cloud platform while creating the account to other vendors like customers, and you can manage their resources and you can pay for the everything. They will pay for you and you are paying for the Microsoft.
Okay.
And this is the like just hierarchy. I'm telling the tenant, account and subscriptions. Okay, again we'll come back here. So that is called the tenant and subscription. Do you understand, right? Now tenant is the root account. So this root account have the accounts. Um, this root account, the tenant account have the accounts. Under that we have a number of subscriptions. Okay, subscription have the subscription is a service provider, and we will have the using that subscription. We are managing that all the resources, and you using for the billing and management. You can talk about those 3 points. So that comes as a difference between tenant and subscription. Okay, now what is a resource and what is a resource group? These are the very important actually. Now I told you, right? Resource group, subscription. This, if you doesn't know about the tenant also, no problem, that you can read it and you can tell it, okay, in the definition which we are defining here. But resource and resource groups and subscription in the day-to-day activities, every day you used to it will be you're using and you're doing all the stuff in these services only. So you want to know more from here. So what is a resource? Resource is like a VM, like a storage account, web apps, database, and virtual networks. All are comes as the resources. So what is a resource group? Resource group also like a container. So what I told you in the subscription, right? So resource group also doing the same kind of stuff here. So resource group also is like a container. It hold all the resources, but it won't hold the resource group. Resource group hold the resources. Subscription hold the resource groups and resources. Let me explain you here. So this is the hierarchy. But currently, we forgot about the management group. I will explain you later. So currently the hierarchy it looks like that. So resources, SQL database, virtual network, VM, storage account, automation accounts, whatever you create in the Azure, those all comes as a resources. You understand what is a resources? Any service you create using, so suppose you using VM service, you created a VM. Okay, that is a resource. You create a VNet or subnet, that comes as a resource. You create a storage account is a resource. You created a SQL database, that comes as a resource. You created as like a container or whatever it, you create any resource in the Azure, so that comes as a under the resources. Okay. Now what is a resource group? So resource group is nothing but a container. This resource group contains the resources. So what are the resources you are creating? So these all resources under this resource group. So without resource group, you can't create a resources in Azure. Guys, remember these words. Without resource group, you can't create a resources.
Okay.
I will tell you
Okay.
how. While creating, it will come. I will explain you that. But for this case, you remember that. So what is the resources? Resources is nothing but a VMs, storage account, whatever the you are in Azure portal, what and all you are creating, all comes belongs to a resources.
Resources.
Yeah. So how these resources under the resource group? So these resource groups are managing this. So we have discussed earlier, subscription is contain the resource group and resources, right? So now resource group is containing the resources.
Okay.
So hierarchy you see, resources are containing the resource group, and the resource group and resources are containing the subscription.
Okay.
Okay. Now you see here. So now you know that same kind of stuff here in subscription. What are the what is mean of a subscription you are talking about? Subscription is nothing but a logical container. Okay, the same resource group also is nothing but a container. Okay, and here the subscription subscription is will provide the is services, or you can tell about service provider. Okay, but this is not a service provider. Only subscription only will provide the service provider. This is the only difference between subscription and resource group. Resource group, it will not provide any services. subscription will provide the services. Means like a VM, a storage account, what are the Azure services, right? Those all services will provide by the subscription, but resource group, it won't provide anything. But both are logical containers. I mean to say containers like a folder, whatever you assume that, okay, it's a folders, and but subscription will provide the services, resource group, it won't provide anything. But other remaining options, billing perspective, this will allow this resource group also help you to manage the costing, like what is the billing, to manage the billing and providing access and providing the policies. You can manage the resource group level. Because of, I will give you the one scenario here. So now I have a subscription, this subscription, okay. We currently have two here. One, this is the subscription. Let me explain you two scenarios. This is one subscription, and this is my one single resource group, and I have one single resources. If I provided access here, I have provided admin access. You think like I have provided a contributor access for one of user. So that user will get full access to resource group and subscription. If I provided full access, contributor access in subscription level, that user can have a resource group and resources. So full access you have for all the entire from subscription and resource group and resources. So as I said, we can able to manage the access also in the resource groups level, right? So if my requester doesn't want subscription level access as a contributor, so that time you can provide only resource group level. Already we discussed earlier, right? So if there is a complete project, they want like contributor access for the application team, so those you can those kind of requests you can provide access for the resource group level. So as I told you now, without resource group, we can't create any resources. So whatever you create a resources, it will fall in under into the resource group. So now, so what is the need of resource group lessons? Like I told you, right? There is looks like it is a container, logical container. It will have the resources, and we can able to manage using access management and policies, and we can in the billing also, like a cost analysis also we can do from the resource group level. So now another case, now this is a subscription, okay, and we have a two resource groups here. So if someone is requested to uh, contributor access for this subscription, if you provide here, by default you will get all this all resources, you will get access. So who will have the admin access for the subscription level, as you understand now currently? Only the support team will have the admin access for this all the subscription level.
Who supports VM?
Yeah. No, not the VMs you contact. Who support the this account? Suppose you are the Windows and Azure team, right? So you should know that you should have the access to entire organization. Then only you can support, right? We don't know when come which issue, right? So
Okay.
support team have the all the subscriptions should have the contributor, minimum contributor access should have to manage all the resources. In which cases you recommend to filter the restrict the access, okay? If suppose application team, so application team doesn't we won't recommend to provide a subscription level access, because of if you provide a one application team, so application team only this VM is there for that application. Why you want to provide contributor access in the subscription level? If you provide contributor access in the subscription level, instead of this resource, you are providing other resource also access. Correct. So that cases, if maybe requested rise for the access for the subscription also, you have to ask them. You have what resources you are managing it, okay? And if you need access for the specific resources, we'll provide it, but not for the subscription level. If the project team want, this is we have created separate resource group for that project, and all the resources, the database, VMs, everything we have created under that resource group. So if that cases, you can provide the contributor access if they want from the resource group, but not from the subscription. Okay, you understand, bro? This is very important actually. What is Chandru? Do you understand? So what is the resource in the sense? Like any resource which creating in the Azure, so all comes as a resources. A resource group in the sense that how you have a group, right? In WhatsApp group, how do you have and keeping all the users and adding your friends, right? Same like that. This is also resource group. So you have a admin, right? That is admin, and that comes how you are providing access for the group of other members. Same like that here also, but the terminology will differ. The resource group in a sense that is called as one group or one folder, you can think. Okay, in that folder you have these resources. Okay, if you want to
Okay.
provide access to access for the resources, if you want to provide only that resources, you can provide. If you want to provide access for the resource group level, you can provide. If you want to provide a subscription level, you can provide. How we can provide that, we can discuss later when doing the labs. But currently you want to know what is a resource, what is a resource group, and what is a subscription. So resource is a resources is a the VMs, databases, web apps, storage accounts, virtual networks, run books, VNet, everything it will comes as a resources. Okay, just take that to the resources. And what is a resource group? Resource group is a container. It contains all the resources, Azure resources,
Mm.
and is while using resource group easy to manage, using for the resource group to manage. And one more thing, and other 2 points for the billing and policies we can implement from the resource group to control it. Okay, and one more thing, without a resource group you can't create any resource. That is very important.
Okay.
So I told you in the beginning section also. I
Yeah.
will tell you the difference between classic and ARM overview. So this is the difference actually. So before we don't have a resource group kind of model. Okay. Now in ARM, this is Azure Resource Manager management manager overview. So this is ARM module deployment currently we are using. That's why we have a resource groups. Before we don't have any resource group kind of concept. Okay, this is the difference from the classic. Before we have a portal, how we have a Azure portal, right? Same that we have before, but we don't have resource group concept in the previous. So it's creating in the subscription we are going creating, and we don't have control in the resource group level. So we are creating all the resources. Later stage they have implemented the resource group concept. Then now they have removed the classic portal. Now we have only ARM portal only. So this is very important. You, someone, you understand? You let me know. I will tell you again.
Yeah, I understood.
So resources in the sense, so whatever you create, maybe we
VM.
create a virtual machine, I'll create a database, or we create a anything in the Azure portal. We have a number of services, right? So using that services, if you create anything that comes as a resource. So
Yes.
this resource where you are creating inside the resource
In
group.
this. Yes.
So what is going to do? This resource group contains the resources. What you created that contains the resource group. Because of without resource group you can't create any resources. So what kind of resources you are creating inside the resource group only. So how we are managing? We can easy to manage using the resource group. You can be able to manage. You can provide the access, and you can you can apply the policies, and you can. So how we do you know about the AD, Asman?
Yes. Yes. I know.
So AD we have a OUs, right? You have a local policies,
Yes.
you have a domain policy, same like that here also. But the terminologies will differ. But the hierarchy you have to assume the same. This is one organization unit. This is one organization unit. Okay. You are providing the policy here. Like what kind of policies we'll discuss later. But you are applying the policy here to control you here. So I'll give me one example what policies normally will do. Okay. So
Okay.
suppose we are using number of regions. Azure services are providing across the global, right? So you can create a resource in UK, you can create a resource in US, you can create a resource in India, or you can any location you can create, like you can create, right? So my customer only using for US region. Okay, by mistake my support team, my teammate, by mistake while doing that building the VM, by mistake he has selected instead of US, he could have, he can, maybe manual errors can possible, right? If you selected by mistakenly UK, so if you don't have controlling, so it will get the VM will spin up there in UK region. So to avoid that manual errors, you can create a policy, deny other reasons. Suppose apart from the US reason, if you select any other reasons, deny to create a resource. So that kind of policies we can implement. And let me give one more example. There is a tax in the what is a tag? You can, while you buy a t-shirt or whatever, you will get a tag, right? There is a tag. I think you know, right?
Yeah.
So what is the tag? Tag is a brand name, right? They're giving the name to identify
Yes.
which brand, what is the cost. So it's identified. So same like that. So now you have built a virtual machine or anything here. Okay, like you build here. Currently, you build a virtual machine here. So you want to identify, right? That machine is which project and what operating system it is when you build it. So which application is carrying? Who is the owner? So those comes as a tags. We'll call it as a tags here in Azure. Okay. So I have a mandatory tags whenever you create a resource group or resources. Let me talk about now currently only resource. Now I created a VM. Okay. So while creating a VM, if you not define the tags, I have defined 5 tags. Okay. One is build date. One is the which operating system, who is the service owner, and which reason, and another thing is you take it as a which reason. So these 5 tags are mandatory. If while creating a VM, if you not define that 5 tags while creating a VM, that policy will you'll deny to create that. So it won't allow you to create a VM if until you define that 5 tags. So that kind of policies we can implement. So we have a number of, if you talk about we can policies, we have number of policies for security level or the BAU perspective. We have number of. So I'm just giving the 1 or 2 examples. So that kind of you can implement policies, or you can manage the access in the resource group level, and you can easily to analyze the like billing cost. So these three categories it will use for the resource group. And moreover, one more important is, without resource group you can't create a resource. Okay,
Okay.
these 4 points we have to important. And the same
Okay.
like that, what is the subscription? Subscription is nothing but a service provider. It will give the services. Using the services you can create a Azure resources, and also it contains the resource group and resources in the subscription. Okay. And now what is a tenant? Tenant is a root account, so we can have multiple subscriptions under the tenant. Okay, that we can say
Okay.
that's enough for them. Okay. So this,
Okay.
and what is the management group here? So better I can ignore here. If I can, if you are not confusing, I will tell you. If it's confusing, I will tell you in the later stage also. Okay, this is the one is the management group. So how we are now, you are applying policies and everything you talked about here, right? So this is from the subscription resource group. This is hierarchy, more than entire all the subscriptions, everything. If you want to manage, this can be
Management.
management group. One is the group. This is group is going to manage, like you can apply policies and costing, everything you can manage from this management group. Okay. So this is what this is very important, guys. If you know this, then we can easily we can like you can play with Azure.
Okay.
Okay, if you have any doubts, you can right away you can ask. Okay. And we are going to discuss about the virtual machine types actually. So like virtual machine types in the sense, what are the VM sizes? We have number of VM sizes that comes as a families. Okay, so we have a different like VM families based. They have categorized based upon the CPU and memory and that kind of like the business usage cases. They have categorized with the A and B and D series and F series, H series, and like this they have categorized the like virtual machine sizes, the VM sizes. Means each virtual, here we can see right in the screenshot. Maybe we can discuss more when you go in the portal. Just I'm going to highlight, just giving the overview here actually. So this now here in the A you can see now A0 and the standard and basic, A1 standard, A1 basic, A1 hyphen V2. So this is the A series. So in this series, these are the offering Microsoft. These are the general purpose or high performance. You can see here this is a CPU and this is the memory. So each this we can entire series A series we will call as a family. In this A series you have a custom options. Okay, you can't in VMware you can able to modify the cores and CPU, right? How you want it, customize that resource you can assign to any virtual machines, right?
Yes.
So if you go stop the VM and you can there
Hmm.
is a options, right? You can increase, add a resource, right?
Yeah.
Memory CPU. Okay, and hard there is a options, right? If you enable hard memory or something, I couldn't remember. So you can able to increase that memory and CPU, right? In the hard
Hmm.
disk you can add it
Hmm.
same like that. But in the VMware environment you can increase the custom how much you want. If you use resources available in the hypervisor or vCenter, you can assign it to the respective VMs. But here you can't like that. So
Ah,
I can't like that in the sense we have that option, but that options they have done the already customized. So you have to choose one of the one. Okay. In that
okay.
case, you have to choose which one it will nearby one. Maybe you can't get exact VM size, maybe CPU cores, but you have to choose the nearby one to fulfill that. So that custom option we don't have, but semi-custom option, like they have already defined that sizes. In that sizes, you have to pick it any one and you can assign for your VM. So to perform the operations. Okay, that is
Okay, bro.
uh,
Yeah, small dot. So initially I have selected A0 template. Okay,
mhm,
it's a one CPU, one memory.
mhm.
After 6 months, I realized that I want two more CPU, two more RAM. So in that case, if I select another VM, how to migrate the data from this VM to that VM? Data
So
and
this is not the migrating VM. This is only resizing the configuration.
correct.
So you can't say the migration VM. Okay, you
Uh,
have to say uh, resizing the VM size. We have to reconfigure it. So now currently you think like is a one CPU and there is a like you take it. This is a one CPU and two GB RAM. Okay, so after 6 months, my performance increased. So they have a performance issues coming for that. Okay, now I want to increase two CPU cores and more than 2 GB RAM. So I can use this A2 series standard. I can go here. I can get two cores and 3.0 GB RAM. So you just changing the size here, just selecting that
data and same automatically
data.
data.
It won't be any impact. Just it will change the only CPU and cores. Only the configuration only will get changed. So there
Name
will
also
be
not change.
no, nothing. It won't. The host names, the configuration, OS level configuration and data, it won't be any changes. The only the components, CPU and memory components only, it will get different. And after changing this, the disk supports, maybe the maximum supports will get vary, and the maximum high ups and this it will get vary. This and all will discuss later stage actually.
Okay. Okay.
So when we go once we build the VM and we have this comes right, then we'll discuss later very depth and which sizes we have to recommend and what are the prerequisites we have to change it, how to do it. and then that we'll discuss later stage. Okay. And now what is we have already discussed about high availability, right? So we are going to discuss how it's being designed in Microsoft, how we are going to get that high availability and availability set and availability zones. We are going to discuss now. Let me explain more better. Yeah, you can see right here. Normally, the high availability, how the Microsoft is providing to you, if you want to understand when you want to explain the customer, you want to know the background, how it could be. So, for example, when the VM is created in the Azure, okay, if you are not selected available to set, okay, this is comes all together as available to set. Maybe. So this is available to set concept, okay. So what is the update domain and forward domain? If you someone is asked what is the available set, available set is the combination of update domain and fault domain. Guys, remember that words, okay, in the terminology of how we are saying. So what is available to set in the sense? Available set is the combination of fault domain and update domain, or update domain or fault domain, whatever you can use that. The combination of update domain and fault domain is called available set. How it could be the combination of available combination these two as available set? I will explain you here. So whenever you create a VM in the Azure, if you're not selected available set, so you have if you are not selected a available set, so your VM will be is being standalone. Means it's only single copy, so you don't have the high availability. Means it's going to sit in one suppose now you are selected as a, now let me give the scenario here. So now I am creating a VM, creating a one VM without selecting available set. Okay, so this is the first one, first case. Okay. Shit. So this is creating a VM without availability set. So now I created a one VM here. So this case you are not selecting any available set, right? So your VM is created in this is one of the rack. Okay, this is one of a rack in your data center. So that way they are Microsoft also is managing. Okay, this is a one rack and this is a one rack and this is a one rack. Okay, now you are created a VM without available set. Your VM is created here. So this is your current VM. Suppose in this VM is running fine due to some hardware failures. This is your hypervisor, means your physical box. This is your host or node, whatever you call it as. In this box, your VM is created here. VM1 is now created now. So this is not only for dedicated you. Okay, this is created thousands of companies here creating using the same. This all has been shared model. Okay, so here is going to create Microsoft VMs. Here going for the Unisys VMs. Here going to create for TCS VMs. Everything will come here because of this is shared resource model. In the sense, the hardware is not only dedicated for your Unisys, okay, or your Unisys managing customers. Okay, this Azure is managing is a shared hardware model, and this once you create a VM, it can be created anywhere here. So now just an example I am creating in this host. You are created your virtual machine, but you doesn't know it's where it's created. Okay, just I'm explaining the backend. So now in Azure portal, you created a one virtual. How you created in the VMware, how you created a VM, right? Same like that you have created, but you know that you're choosing that which data center, data store, your which VHD files and has to be stored, right? So, and if you later you want to move, you can able to move from this VM to another data store, so that it's possible in the VM environment. But you talk about in Azure perspective, so we don't know this how they're managing that, how we have high availability, how they are managing the high availability in the backend. But we have a available set and availability zone. We have a custom level we can manage ourselves, like providing high availability of our resources. Okay, we'll leave about that all now. So we are choosing the case now, creating a VM without available set. Now I have created one VM here in this host. So due to some issues, maybe host only failed. You know, right? In the VMware also Hyper-V host will get failure and you'll see the errors, right? So same
Yeah.
like that, maybe if a network failure also, maybe it's a storage failure also, it could be a rack power issue also. So the number of cases can be causes of failure of node, right? So this box, this is one of the server. Okay, in this server you created one of your VM. Now, Suman, you have to understand. Okay, okay.
Yes, sir.
Yeah. See, this is previously also we discussed, right? This is a rack servers in first. So this is okay. You have to assume this is the host in a sense. This is the one host. Okay.
Mm.
Inside that we are creating a number of VMs right here. So those only I'm explaining in the Azure how they are maintaining. So
Okay.
this is your physical server. You imagine that this is the one rack server. Okay. And this is my rack in the Azure they are maintaining. So my rack in the sense they are maintaining Azure. So this is one rack and this is one rack and this is one rack. In this rack we have a number of servers here. In this server, one of a server you created a one VM. So by default maybe it's created here. Now if this host failures, this server get failed, not your VM. If this completely this one is failing, okay. If completely this one is failing, okay, completely this node is failing, okay, your VM will go down. If any cause, maybe power issue or network issue, your VM or a physical host only failure, so your VM can't able to access, means your VM you are not able to access in the sense your VM is down only, right? So you can't able to access. So when without available set, if we create, if any hardware failures of that particular host, the VM will be down. Okay, this is first scenario. So normally if non-business non-critical VMs and test missions and development missions, we suggest to create this kind of without available set. Okay, so because of we don't have any dependent or we don't have any critical applications are not running on that VMs, right? So we can without available set we can create this option. Okay, you understand? Okay, non critical missions we can, because of if when you choosing that we'll get high availability, right? So if it's a non-critical emissions we can use this, it's no matters. Okay.
Okay.
Now, second case. Now here, create a VM with available set. Okay, second case. In the second case, now I am creating a VM here. Okay, this once I create a VM, in this case, this scenario, if I create a VM in single VM I created here using with available set, so 3 copies will get created in the backend. So 1 copy is here and 1 copy is here and 1 copy maybe here or here, whatever it could be. The 3 copies will get created in different hosts, not in the same server. This is the one server, this is the one server, this is the one server, this is the one server. In these physical servers, once you create a VM using available set, your VMs will be 3 copies in the backend. Okay, one is here or here or here or maybe here or here or here, anywhere, but it will be 3 copies. Maybe I think you already asked when you're talking about high availability. So how we can define how many copies do you need? That comes as a availability set configuration. You have to define here how many update domains, how many fault domains do you need it. So that is, I told you, right? The combine, what is availability set in the sense, the combination of update domain and fault domain. So update domain, fault domain, your VM has to create how many update domains has to use, how many fault domains has to use. We hotspot. Hello, can you hear me?
Yeah, no, you're audible.
Yeah.
Yeah, no.
There is a power loss. Okay, that's why I thought it's disconnect. So here, so the another case is here we I told you, right, the combination of update domain and fault domain, right? So update domain and fault domain, you are going to define that. So I said the 3 copies will get create, right? The 3 copies or 4 copies or 5 copies, that available set configuration will decide. So when while creating the available set, first we have to create a available set, or while creating a VM also you can create available set. Okay, so while creating available set you have to define that. So I need 2 update domains and 5 fault domains, means the copies will get increased, or that the update fault domains will use for 5 fault domains here. Okay, so normally standard we set as a 2 and 3, or 3 and 5 will set the available set. So maximum. So I'm just taking as a, this is 2 is 5 I'm taking currently. So now 2 update domains, let me take here. Two update domains and 3 fault domains 3. So in the 2 racks, your 3 VMs will be provisioned. So backend. So whenever you create available set with the 2 update domain and 3 fault domain, so in these 2 racks, any physical fault domain in the sense physical server. Okay. So any physical in these 2 racks, any 3 nodes, your 3 VMs will get created. Now currently I have given, I have showed you here. So now I have choose the 2 and 3. So this is the update domain, 2 racks, and fault domains is 3. So this is a fault domain, this is a fault domain, and this is a fault domain. Okay. These all are fault domains only. So now I choose the one VM I choose here, for example, and one VM I choose here, and one VM I choose here. So whenever you choose the available set, if you created with this configuration, so you 3 copies will get create. One is here, one is here, anywhere. I mean to say, I just choose here randomly. So in these 2 racks and these servers, it will create 3 copies from anywhere. So if one physical server goes down here, maybe as we discussed previously, I'm taking the same server only, it goes down. So if this case, your VM will go, it won't go down, because of the VM will be running from any of this. You don't know which one goes down, which one is up. You don't have any visibility. But without the VM disconnections or interruptions, always the VM will be up and running because of this high availability. Because of this availability set high availability only between the data center. So we are talking about this all within the data center. Okay, this is a data center. In this data center, we have a racks. In these racks, you have choose the update domain 2 and fault domain 3. So you have a 3 copies of single VM. You created only one VM. Okay, but in the backend, Microsoft is managing the 3 copies. So if one copy is in no fault domain 1, okay, this is fault domain 1. Okay, this is fault domain 4, right? 1 2 3 4, yeah, 4. So this fault domain 1 is down. So your VM is up and running, maybe here or here, that you don't have any visibility from where it's my VM is serving the service to be up and running my VM. You don't have that visibility, but your copies will be 3. But anyway, we don't know which VM is serving that service to be up of your VM, but your always VM is been up until your data center should not be down. If you have any hardware failures of physical servers, you have a high availability. Guys, you guys understand now. So when you have available set only for that, only physical hardware failures in the data center. Okay, in the same data center, if you have any update domain failures, sorry, update domain, maybe now currently we have fault domain failure here, right? So your VM is be up and running from any these 2 copies. Now you assume that entire my update domain failed. Okay, due to some rack only get failed, fully the power issue gone. So all VMs get shut down, all servers is got shut down. So still I have my VM is up and running because of my another copy is running from the another update domain.
Yeah.
Okay, so
Yeah.
that high availability is providing using available set. The Microsoft is providing high availability using available set. This way they are giving the high availability when you choose the available set. If suppose if customer maybe in future they ask you when you're supporting Azure, so if I select a high availability, how I will get high availability? So you will get a number of copies based upon the update domain and fault domain. So if any hardware failures in the servers, so your VM it won't be any distraction. So your VM will be up and running within the data center. Okay, that is called availability set. Yeah, you can ask now question. Yeah.
Yeah. Only 3 copies we need to duplicate, bro, or any
Yeah, you
number.
can based upon that configuration, right? So available set configuration, you can change available here 3 or 5.
That is our choice.
Yeah, that is our choice here.
Okay. So any VM down in one fall down or update down, we can manage another VM, like no impact to business.
Yeah. For your VM,
Okay.
it won't be any impact. Suppose now this
Yes.
is the VM, these 3 copies based upon the available set, the 3 copies is created in the backend of.
Same VM having in another fall down.
Yes,
So
yes,
that's why your VM is running.
yes. That's why the VM is running for you. But you don't
Okay.
know if really it's down or which one is down, you don't have any visibility. Really down, you can't see this, right? So is this
Yes.
hardware is managed by Microsoft. So you can't see this.
Mm.
But the structure is managing like this. When you're choosing available, that it will be like this.
Okay.
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 So this
Understood.
is one. Okay. And now
Yeah.
we are going to do, yeah, yeah. You're asking something.
No, no, I understood.
Now let me explain what is if you understand, right, what is available. Someone you're fine, right?
Yes, yes.
So I couldn't see who is asking question. That's why. So now we are going to talk about availability zone actually.
The scenario is same in only one data center, right? Bro?
Yeah, exactly.
Okay.
Availability zone. Okay. Same here also, we have update domain and fault domain. So that comes as a update domain means complete rack. Okay, fault domain means that particular host. Okay, don't
Host.
but update domain, fault domain.
Okay. Here using update domain and fault domain, right?
Yeah.
In the VM, we are using like host and data center.
Fault domain in the sense that the server, physical server. Okay, update domain in the
Okay.
sense the complete rack.
Okay.
Okay, so I have given this. Okay, so now here, let me draw. So this is my one data center, and this is my another data center. Okay, so this data center, it is in Bangalore. You can take Pune. Okay, this is okay, Chennai. Okay, now
Okay.
now you have choose the availability zone instead of now. Previously we discussed what we discussed availability set, right?
Yes, available.
So shit. So we have discussed availability set here. So this is only if failures happen within the available within the data center. If any rack goes down or physical service goes down, so we will get the high availability using availability set. Now, if complete the data center goes down here, if complete data
Yes.
center goes down, that what comes as a availability zone.
Okay.
So if you can ask, right, maybe if data center goes, how you will going to provide the high availability? Okay, if that case, you have to choose as the availability zone.
Yeah, that node also running. So we are explaining now. Okay, fine.
So now here we have failure of only hardware. So physical server goes down or due to some power issues with the rack or host, we have availability set. If you don't want to trust only with the data center, I have more critical my application. I want to if get more high availability, then you can go for availability zone. If worst
Okay.
case, if data center goes down, one data center, so your
Mm.
the VMs will be having the same capacity.
Another data.
Yeah. So same now, the same kind of structure, the VM will be running here and the other VMs here. Same copies exactly it will be replicated here also. So the number of copies will increase here.
Okay.
Okay. So now, so like this. So here the number of copies will get increased, but we don't know where it's running, but the copies will be available. So if you already we see that this hardware values here, if enter data goes down here, so this enter data center goes down, so Pune data center goes down here. So the same copies it's available in Chennai data center also. So without any issue, you can able UVM will won't go down because of you have a high availability zone. The VMs have other copies set. It is there in another data center, so VMs can able to access without any issue. Okay, it won't be any issue while accessing the VMR for your applications. So without any issues, it can able to access. So that way you can like choosing the high availability zone. So in this case will
Okay.
only use for the data center failures case.
Okay. So availability is within data center. Availability zone is between two data centers.
Yes.
Right?
Yes. So in the interviews, they won't ask you much how the structure is defined here actually. So they'll ask you
Okay.
100%. They will ask you if you are they want to test some basics. Then 100% they will ask you what is
Oh,
available set and availability zone. So
okay.
directly you can't tell that the hardware fails within the data center and between the data center failures. You can't say in a single word. So that where your experience and real time your genuine or not, it will present you actually. So you have to tell more about. So when you choose the available set while creating a VM, so you will get the high availability. So high availability you are getting if you have the configuration of available set, you're choosing that fault domain, update domain. The copies will be distributed across the update domains and fault domains. The copies. So if any hardware fails in the physical node or means the fault domain fails or update domain fails, so you will get high availability within the data center. So coming to availability zone, if any data center get like a failover, so the exact copies will be replicated into the another data center. So if and complete data center goes down, so because of we have replicated copies in the another data center, so we have VM it won't down because of VM can be accessible from other data center. So you have to tell this. You can't say in a single line. That way you can easily, if you I ask the interview question, same question, I will easily get out your read and you are just reading and you are telling it.
Okay.
That way you have to present. That is very important. The way you are presenting the answers is very important.
You can explain practically. We will.
Yeah, yeah.
Okay.
So this question also they will ask you 100%. They will ask what is the update domain, what is the fault.
Yeah, this is very important, right?
Yeah, yeah.
Availability. Yeah.
Yeah. What is the available set and what is the availability zone? What is the subscription? What is the resource group? What is the different
What
subscription?
is the
What is the
content?
attendant? 100%
Okay.
these questions will come in interview.
Okay.
So you have to very carefully you have to read the terminology, very important. If you know the concept, if you not use the right term there, then easily they can judge about your skill. So
Okay. Sure.
the terms is very important. The technical terms is very important when you are using it.
Yeah, okay.
So this is what high availability. We have other high availabilities, but that it comes as a reason. So currently we talked about only availability set and availability zone within the data center and different data centers. Right. So that I have told you in index I was explaining, right? Disaster recovery, DR. Do you remember?
Mm.
So
Yes, yes. For disaster recovery.
so as I said previously, so each reason have multiple data centers. Microsoft is providing multiple data, multiple reasons, right? It's a global, global wide. We have a, multiple reasons is supporting Azure. Maybe I can give you like India, US, UK, Europe. So we have number of reasons they are providing, right? So if you talk about India, we have a 3 data centers. In US, we have multiple data centers. In UK, we have multiple data centers. But in this US also we have a 2 reasons. US East to West. In UK, if you go for UK West, UK South, we have different reasons also. Not only for data centers, we have a reasons also.
Mhm.
So like now how we have India, one reason. Okay, one reason. India is one reason.
Mm.
In that reason, we have
Mm.
a three data centers. One is Mumbai, one is Pune, one is Chennai. Same like that. We
Yes.
have if you go talk about US, we have a US is one reason. Under we have another reason East US two, and same like that
Oh.
East US Central. Okay,
Mm.
like that if you talk about UK reason, UK West, UK South, like that we have each reason. They have number of reasons like that in across the world. So all the reasons the Microsoft is providing the services manage their customers. Okay, so now you are choosing a India reason. So you have chosen high availability and high using available set and availability job. So still you are not comfort with the high availability. So we have another option called disaster recovery, DR, disaster recovery option. So this option we know, right? Entire reason goes down. We can use this DR. So if currently this all Pune and Chennai, all where is there? Is in India region, right? Hello. So Pune and Chennai, where is there? These are the Indian
Yeah.
India locations only, right?
Yes.
So in India, we have a three data center. I've chosen here. So now completely India region only goes down. How you will get high availability?
No, in this scenario, you can use the disaster. Yeah.
Yeah. No, you are not getting my point. So now available set within the hardware failures or within the data center. Available zone, we entire data center goes. This is we are talking about only within the one single region.
Okay.
So India, we have a one region, right? In this India,
Yes.
we have a three data centers. Now we talked about the data centers within the India.
Hmm.
So entire India, we have a entire region. India region only goes down. Then how you want to high availability? That comes as a DR. So,
Yes.
no, now we have a three data centers in India, right? Three data center goes down. You assume that there is a worst case. So entire three
Yes. Yes.
data goes down. So now
Mm.
Ukraine, we have a having some fight, right? There, Russia and Ukraine, right? So that kind of
Yes.
all the data center goes down. Okay. So then how? What is the availability? Enter your all everything applications, everything goes down for that reason, right? So for that, you are using the high availability using disaster recovery. So if my VMs I'm using in India region, so same regions I'm replicating the East US also, East US region also, any region, East US 2 or East US Central or any region, I'm replicating these VMs in another region also. Maybe in this region, any data center, I don't know, I'm not choosing a data center. I'm choosing only region. Okay. If India region goes down completely, and the same servers within some RPO, I can bring that server maybe 1 hour or 30 minutes downtime. I can bring that servers from East US region. So your servers will be in location is different, but the application and servers are up and running.
Yes.
You got it? That is a regional failures. This is that available zone is the data center failures. Available set is within the data center hardware failures. These are the
Yes.
three high availability options. So but you are choosing that which option you are choosing based upon your customer and their criticality of applications.
Okay.
So but we have all the high availability options we have from the Microsoft. So based upon that, so normally we know that any test servers and development servers, we won't use the available set available zone also. So that case
Yes.
we are not going to use the DR also. Okay. So there is a production servers. Okay, I'm fine with the available set. So I'm fine. So I can use available set. There is a some more critical. I don't want to be a position even 5 minutes or half an hour or 1 hour also downtime. I don't require the that much high availability I need from the application. We can choose availability zone. So if worst case, I don't want to lose my everything, my applications in when you have a disaster, entire region goes. I don't want to lose to bring maybe we don't know, right? ETA if complete region goes, maybe we can bring it 1 day or 2 days or 1 hour. We don't know, right? That ETA. So that cases, if you have a DR, you can bring in within minutes. You can bring that servers in another region. So only the change is a region will change. If region change, the IP will change. The host name will it won't change of that VMs. IP will change because of
Okay.
either the VNet will be different. So only IP will change. Based upon that IP configuration, you have to update the DNS entries and the application wherever you need to change. You have to change it and you have to bring your application online. That case only for region failures. Okay.
Okay. Okay.
If you have any doubts, what we have discussed important concepts today. So one is subscription, okay, and resource
Yes.
group and resources, and then we have discussed the high availability options. These are very important. We have to go
Okay.
very thoroughly, and we have to all the things you have every day. You have to recap this. Okay. If you have any doubts, we can ask. We can discuss here, or I will start
Okay.
other things. So up to this, we have completed.
Mm.
Now, if you doesn't have any questions, I am going for the state of the virtual machines. What are the different states of the virtual machines? So this is very basic actually. So we have a, couple of states actually here. Let me add one more. Failed. Yeah, failed. Yes. So now, suppose your virtual machine, you can stop it, okay? Or if you stop, it will get show as a stop and deallocated. Stop and deallocated. This is a one state, okay?
Mm.
VM is up and running, then it's a running state. And if you have initiated for the stop, then it's a stopping state. It's a starting if it's a starting state. In some cases, the VM will get failed due to maybe a number of reasons. The VM get shows in a failed state when you see that VM. In the VMware also, if you go and see the VM is it will be power off and power on. After how we have
Yes.
that in Azure also we have these options. So you can this is just in progress states. Sometimes the VM will be starting only. It will take longer time. So that's why I'm giving that states for to understanding. Sometimes it will take long time to stopping. And this is a running VM is up and running that time. If completely you stopped manually, then you can see that stop and deallocated state of the VM. And this is a failed state. This failed state in the sense, if due to some
Power issue.
the VM will get failed, unable to start. So due to that, you can't able to take the RDP and you can't able to access that
Mm.
virtual machine.
Okay.
Okay. And next, we'll talk about the casting actually. The casting, I think better we can discuss later. So how we can calculate it, the resource. Suppose you have created a storage account from 5 TB or 500 GB or whatever it could be, the custom sizes. So how much cost it will be? Maybe the customer will ask. Okay, they requested you to create a 100 GB of storage account. Okay, you created, you will give it. Maybe he will ask you that for month how much it will get charged. We have to tell, right? So using Azure pricing calculator, one is the one calculator we have from the Microsoft end. So using that Azure pricing calculator, you can calculate that how much cost per month for 100 GB storage account. You can calculate that, but better we can know that all the storage account and VM and the load balance and pass data, everything. If you know the services, if we explain that what are the options we have to choose to calculate that, maybe you can better understand. So that's why I'm just starting to explain you later stages this.
Okay.
Okay, but you can tell them interview, maybe you can someone ask you. So the case they will give you like this. Okay, so the user is asking to tell me that, so how much my storage account, what is the size utilized for this month. Okay, how much, what is the
Mm.
cost of this month. So now currently you are in April month, right? So maybe they will
Mm.
ask you, what is my March month cost of my virtual machine, what is the cost of my storage account of May month. Sorry, March, right? Sorry, March month. If they ask what is the cost of March month, so you suppose you have to find out. Okay, so they will ask how we are going to calculate that, how you can verify. So that cases you don't need to use the pricing calculator. Okay, if it's already
Mm.
the past one, you don't want to use a calculator. Okay, the
Okay.
future one, suppose the past one you can use directly in Azure portal. We have a cost analyzer, one service is there. There you can go on, you can search that, and you can how much it was utilized in the March month. You can tell it while seeing that. You don't need to
Mm.
pricing calculator. Okay, pricing calculator we can help you only. So when they want to know that how much maybe it will cost in future, if you take 100 GB, so how much it will charge for that. So you want to know before that using. So that cases you can use that pricing calculator. 100 GB storage account, or for virtual machine, what is the cost currently? So that is not the accurate, but it's been appropriate cost for that. So you
Okay.
know, right, the dollar cost, it will be vary here and there, right? So it will be not been exact, so it will be approximate. It's been that suffice for anyone if you give that. So normally,
Okay.
if anyone ask you how we can calculate it for, if someone ask you the VM, they will ask you one of the size. Okay, A2 series, they're asking us to create a one VM. Okay, they'll ask you
Mm.
if I choose this size VM, so how much I have to pay per month? How much charge Microsoft will charge for that VM? So you can tell them using Azure pricing calculator. I can check that. I can tell you that for the, so that
Okay.
we have to answer.
Okay.
Okay.
Yeah,
So
bro. Today can I have, bro? Today.
okay, so we'll stop from today here, and if
Okay.
you have any questions we can discuss in 5 more minutes. And tomorrow we'll start VM creation in Azure portal. I will discuss will tomorrow session. What is the
Okay, I have
what
to
is the
create
Azure
VM, right?
portal? What is the how we can log in, and what is the
Okay.
view of that Azure portal, and
Okay.
the how it looks, how you can identify the subscriptions, how we have discussed today, right? What is the subscription, what is the resource group,
Mm.
how we are going to where you can see the subscriptions, how you can see the resource groups, and what is the resources. Sorry.
Okay.
So we are going to discuss brief about, and I will show you. Then we are going to create a virtual missions. Okay, tomorrow class.
Okay.
And once we create
Yeah,
the,
today I will go through that document. I will have any doubt. I will ask tomorrow, bro. I will note that
okay,
points.
okay, no problem.
Yeah.
So currently you don't have any doubts.
Yeah, correct. No, bro. I understood everything.
Okay. Okay then. Yeah. Thank you.
Yeah. Okay, bro. You can go close the call.
Yeah. Bye.
Thank you, bro. Yeah. Thank you. Bye.